So then, if you awaken from this illusion and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, or shall I say, death implies life, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. What you are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time, or any length of time you wanted to have. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure you could conceive. And after several nights of 75 years of total pleasure each, you would say, well, that was pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. Well, something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. And you would dig that and come out of that and say, wow, that was a close shave, wasn't it? Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now. You would dream the dream of living the life that you are actually living today. That would be within the infinite multiplicity of choices you would have, of playing that you weren't God. Because the whole nature of the Godhead, according to this idea, is to play that he's not. So in this idea then, everybody is fundamentally the ultimate reality, not God in a politically kingly sense, but God in the sense of being the self, the deep down basic whatever there is. And you're all that, only you're pretending you're not.
We are all interconnected. Yes, hello to you all. You're watching RHTVLive. We're streaming live from the beautiful city of Maastricht, which is in the south of the Netherlands. Now, of course, we're going to show that on the map. Here we have Maastricht. And of course, we're going to talk politics and geopolitics. So let's first take a look at what's happening in Amsterdam, right? And first of all, we're going to show you a video clip of a comedian who was doing a sketch about the mayor in Amsterdam, Femke Halsema. Her son was arrested and had a pistol, handgun, you know. So Hans Steeuwen did a sketch about Femke Halsema and had a fake gun behind him, right? So he posted the video, and within hours, within minutes actually, the police came to his door, right? So we're going to show the police intervention for a fake gun. And here we Go. Police confrontation, comedian Hans Steeuwen accused of weapon possession. It's a fake gun, it's a prop, right? So we're going to take a look at this here.
Hans Steeuwen, one of the Netherlands' most celebrated comedians, found himself in a peculiar situation today when 6 police officers arrived at his residence. They were responding to allegations of weapon possession and proceeded to confiscate an airsoft gun loaded with plastic pellets. This unexpected incident unfolded just hours after. Don't forget to like and comment for more updates on this developing story.
So there we have that. And let's see if we can find the clip. He was acting as, mayor. Here we go. Here we have the whole clip, I believe.
Dames en heren,
De police
staat hier nu een politie aan de deur. En het is er niet één. Ja, kom maar mee.
De politie is dinsdag binnengevallen bij cabaretier Hans Steeuwen en heeft een pistool in beslag genomen. Hij zegt zelf dat het om een luchtbux gaat, die hij al jaren heeft. Het pistool was te zien in het begin en het einde van deze sketch, die de Budelse grappenmaker op zijn Instagram plaatste. Daarin neemt hij...
So this is the sketch that he did of Femke Halsema. And maybe you could have seen it, but there was a gun next to him. Here we have the gun, right? It's an airsoft gun. So the police came to his house, 6 police officers, and took the gun. Didn't arrest Hans Steeuwen. Nope, did not do that. They took the gun. Now, why is this important? Right? We're focusing on Amsterdam. Why is this important? Well, there was a soccer match, Ajax against Maccabi Tel Aviv in Amsterdam, and Ajax won, right? Let's see. Here we go. We're not allowed to show the whole match, but they won with 5-0. This is the 2-0 or the 3-0, and they won with 5-0. And the Israeli fans, the hooligans, went out on the streets, and we're going to show some images of that. They went out on the streets and attacked taxi cab drivers and people in the public. So Israeli hooligans in Amsterdam. We're going to take a look at this here.
De conflicten komen nu.
Zo dan.
B-E-N-D-E-R. Nou, dames en heren, achter mij is de wedstrijd nog volop aan de gang. Tel Aviv krijgt een pakje slaag, maar toch doet dat de sfeer niet ten goede.
We love you, Bender. We love you. There was no media in Amsterdam except for Bender. A kid like 14, 15 years old. He goes everywhere. We love you, Bender.
Ik ben benieuwd wat er gebeurt als we nou eigenlijk naar buiten komen. Dus laten we een kijkje nemen. Wat een leuke, gezellige mensen.
Ik blijf springen uitgekookt. Amsterdammer tot de dood. Happy zomaar speel je boos. En een paar lijpe hooligans en die mannen maken geen jokes.
De wedstrijd is afgelopen. Ajax heeft gewonnen. Iedereen komt naar buiten gestormd. Het is afwachten wat gaat gebeuren. Joden. We lopen nu richting de Belmer Arena. En je merkt dat er wat jongeren over straat lopen. Die nogal onrustig tegen de politie doen. Dus ja, maar volgens mij, het is weer, ze schelden ze gewoon uit en dan rennen ze weer weg. Inmiddels...
So this is right outside of the stadium, right? The Ajax Arena and he also goes to the center of Amsterdam. You know, it's quite far away, so yeah. First, I have to take the metro to Amsterdam, and yeah. First, it's like yay, yay, we won, yay! But when they follow the Israeli supporters, you know, they take stuff out of the streets, you know, like rocks and you know, stuff like that. We're gonna show it in the footage.
Dan wordt iedereen die onrustig is gewoon weer weggestuurd. Stad verloopt rustig, maar we gaan verder zoeken op Centraal Station. Kijk, alle sporen zijn verschillend afgezet, zodat je dus niet elkaar tegenkomt als je niet op hetzelfde spoor. Minder ruzie, alles voorkomen. Ook tussen de poortjes. En
So they had like for the supporters, they prevented the supporters from, you know, reaching each other, and so they separated the supporters.
Bij de NS staat gewoon een hond. Gewoon om even af te schrikken. In de metro zit de sfeer er gelukkig wel in. Nu nog rijdt het op Centraal Station. Tel Aviv. Niemand. Of toch niet? Oh, we zijn net op Centraal en je merkt al eigenlijk dat de sfeer wat minder...
So this here is Central Station. This is the square in front of the Central Station, and going to the center.
Gezellig is. Er worden vuurwerkbommetjes afgestoken en ze zijn nu aan het rennen en aan het schreeuwen. Ik weet niet wat er... Nee. Ik weet niet wat er precies gebeurt. Het is wel een flinke stoet.
So all these are Israeli supporters, right? Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Oh, ze zijn palen uit de grond aan het jatten.
Oh.
Ze hebben palen uit de grond gejat. Ik denk om zichzelf...
Did you see that? Just someone grabbing a pole. You know, it's really, really sad to see.
Oh, ze zijn palen uit...
There we see has a pole in his hands, right? And more supporters that have poles in their hands and attacking prominently Muslim area, right? With Palestinian flags and stuff like that. The day before the match, they burned Palestinian flags.
Uit de grond aan het jatten. Ze hebben palen uit de grond gejat. Ik denk om zichzelf te weren van mensen die ze lastigvallen. Oh, ze doen nu allemaal maskers op. Er is geen politie, dus ik weet niet precies. Het is nogal heel gespannen.
So there's police. There is police at the stadium, but not in the center of Amsterdam.
Een sfeertje. Oké. Ja, politie.
Now you see police.
Oké. Ze gaan achter mensen aan. Veel.
So as you saw that woman passing by, quite shocked, you know, because you have a group of supporters having poles in their hands, with rocks in their hands and stuff like that.
Precies. Het is nogal een heel gespannen sfeertje. Oké. Ja, politie.
There we see the woman frantically running away from the crowd of hooligans.
Oké. Ze gaan achter mensen aan. Veel politie. Oké, het loopt helemaal uit de hand.
So these people were chasing certain other people.
Oh, palen naar de politieauto. Zo. Zo.
So they were throwing poles at the police cars, right?
Ze zijn een beetje uit elkaar. Taxichauffeur reden ook expres doorheen. Ze hadden van die bouwvakkerspalen uit de grond gehaald en die op andere mensen gegooid en op die politiebussen. We zijn weer eens, zoals altijd, de enige media die er is.
We love you, Bender. Bender's like, we're, as always, the only media in Amsterdam. We love you, Bender.
Zie je vlucht hem een soort van, of rijdt, hij keert terug. Alleen hij is in zijn eentje. Jawel, de groep is hier. Hij heeft duidelijk meer versterking nodig, want dit gaat anders niks worden. Er staan 2 busjes. Het politie-signaal is uit. Het leek op een vechtpartij, maar we weten niet precies met wie. Ik denk met mensen die tegen ze zijn. Het lijkt erop alsof ze misschien in dit hotel verblijven. Alleen ze trekken de stad in. En ze lijken niet bang. Ze schreeuwen veel. Ik versta het niet. Dus als je het kan vertalen in de commands, zou fijn zijn. In de comments. Sir, what's happening?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
You went to the game?
Yeah.
What do you think is gonna happen? Yesterday they did something in Amsterdam.
I just stay away to don't involve the violence.
Okay. So you're not a hooligan?
No, I just spoken English.
Okay. Enjoy your night.
Thank you very
Thank you very much. Ze trekken nu echt het centrum in. Dus ik ben benieuwd wat hiervan terecht komt. Het ziet er nog steeds niet gezellig uit. Ze hebben ook nog maar twee busjes. Het lijkt er echt op alsof de politie eigenlijk niks doet. Niet eens, dus niet eens een waarschuwing, ze rijden gewoon mee. En ja, dan, ja, op een gegeven moment dan gaat er wat kapot en dan kunnen ze nog niks doen. Maar misschien rijden ze mee in de hoop dat er meer versterking is. Al die taxis, dat was dus gisteravond ook, die zijn niet zo blij met de actie. Dus die zijn nu met z'n allen aan het toeteren en dan hoogstwaarschijnlijk weer ruzie van. Zoals je kan horen.
Kijk, veel.
Oh, ze jatten allemaal pallets uit elkaar. Ze lopen nu met houten planken.
Hey bro.
Ze lopen gewoon met wapens.
So they're tearing pallets, and now have wooden things in their hands, and walking around terrorizing Amsterdam, basically. Very, very sad to see.
Er rijden trouwens 3 trams gewoon bijna tegen elkaar aan. Misschien is het bouwen ze een soort muur. We komen van 2 kanten. We komen van 2 kanten. Het conflicten komen nu.
Zo dan. Zo dan. Kom je bij de rijden?
Zo hé. Zo, oké. Ze hebben... Er kwamen terug. Ze zijn zeg maar die 2 groepen. 1 groep kwam vanaf daar. Zijn ze met z'n allen daarheen geropen. Met stokken gegooid. Nu wordt het met vuurwerk gegooid.
So they're throwing with wood and fireworks and stones and stuff like that. And this happened in Amsterdam. And, when one of these Jewish people were attacked by a group of Moroccans saying, you guys got to quit, then suddenly, oh, there's a pogrom against Jews. Oh, that is the frame that the media is giving us, whilst they were the ones in the wrong. But imagine this, right? You're a comedian, you have a sketch, you have a fake gun behind you. 6 cops arrive at your door, and we have to take the gun, But having all these Tel Aviv supporters, no, nothing wrong. Nope. No, we're just standing here at the stadium. Yeah, going to separate the supporters, but nothing in the center of Amsterdam. Nothing's been done. And yeah, very, very sad thing to see. And also how the media spins it, right? Because, you know, these hooligans were attacked by Moroccans, and yeah, they all were crying, oh, there's a pogrom against Jews, you know, this and that. No, you were the ones trying to provoke stuff by burning Palestinian flags and such. Now, I'm not pro-Palestine, you know, I'm looking at this objectively, and it's very hard to look at this objectively and, you know, not to take one party, right? Een opgezet plan, zegt Tini. Ja, kijk, wat er dus gebeurt, hè, is dat de staat meer macht nodig heeft. En de staat heeft ook wel een reden nodig om meer macht te krijgen. En hebben ze dus gebruikt om meer macht te krijgen. Om meer patrouille op straat te hebben en noem het allemaal maar op. So the local government does this to get more power, more police patrols, more controls, and stuff like that. So this is how the state works. Now let's take a look at some other images from Al Jazeera when the supporters were in the center of Amsterdam.
At least 62 people have been arrested and 5 are in hospital after fighting between Israeli football fans and Palestine solidarity demonstrators in the Dutch capital. Video posted online shows Israeli fans tearing down Palestinian flags in central Amsterdam. Fans of Israeli club Maccabi Tel Aviv were there for a Europa League match against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's sending 3 planes to the Netherlands to bring back Israeli citizens. Well, Sepp Vassen joins us live now from Amsterdam. Sepp, a bit of an explanation, please, of what actually happened that led to all of this, that we've been seeing some of those videos, and how are the Dutch authorities responding to this?
Well, thousands of Maccabi Tel Aviv supporters came to Amsterdam for this match against Ajax Amsterdam, and they had quite a vocal presence here in the center of the city yesterday, the day before the match. There were thousands of them rallying here at Dam Square, where I am standing right now, waving Israeli flags. There also was this moment when a Palestinian flag was torn down by them somewhere around the corner here. Hundreds of people were present, and the police just drove by, didn't intervene. Also, a taxi driver was attacked, which led to a fight between taxi drivers and the supporters from Tel Aviv. And so this was the build-up to an escalation which happened after the match, which took place last night. Palestine solidarity supporters came to the stadium. They asked to have a rally there, but the mayor of Amsterdam had banned that rally. They went there anyway, and then there was this riot with police, fights between the supporters from Tel Aviv and the Palestine supporters. People got injured. Also, there are stories of people going into hotels. So there was a very busy night for police. 600 police was active here in the city center. I've seen also images of the mobile brigade of the police trying to protect these supporters from Israel. And now there are still some of them in hotels here around Dam Square. I just spoke to 2 of them who said that the messages coming from Tel Aviv, from the Israeli government, have really made them very nervous, because the government told them not to leave the hotel, and if they want to go to the airport, don't take a taxi, because that would be too dangerous, because they say immigrants are the drivers of these taxis, so that would be too dangerous. Also, don't take the train. So they were very, very nervous, and they said also that, of course, it was quite a scary night for them as well. So they're now basically stuck in their hotels. Israel has said that they're going to send planes to rescue them from Amsterdam, also saying that the situation would be still very dangerous. But you probably can see that everything looks very normal around me here in Amsterdam right now. After the riots finished, basically around midnight, a little after midnight, everything turned to normal.
Okay, thanks very much for that latest update there from Amsterdam. We can go to Meron Rappaport, who's an investigative journalist and editor of the Hebrew language news site Local Call, and he joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, reports that the violence, in fact, started the night before by the Israeli fans that they say started attack. That was also according to an Amsterdam City Council member who told Al Jazeera earlier that they were attacking houses with Palestinian flags. But what is Israel saying on this, and how is it being reported in Israel?
Israel reported as an anti-Semitic attack on Israelis only because they are Israelis, only because they are Jews, that all the anti-Muslim propaganda in Israel is now running very high.
They always do this. Right? They first attack someone, and then they say, hey, we're being attacked. We're being attacked. They always do this. You know, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. I'm not agreeing with the Palestinians on this side, nor the Israelis. You know, this is a conflict that is not supposed to be in the Netherlands. Right? So now we have the Muslim community in the Netherlands asking themselves, you know, is this our country? Well, shock for you, but it never was your country, right? You know, you're probably a fifth generation Muslim living in the Netherlands. And now we have Muslims in the Netherlands talking about the situation that they feel they don't feel safe in the Netherlands, and you know, they're always prosecuted and this and that. So Saladin was, you know, around the table talking about how they're being treated in the Netherlands. Now let's take a look at this.
Livestream.
Ik heb nog nooit zoiets meegemaakt in mijn leven.
Nog zoiets meegemaakt? We leven in het Westen. We hebben onze roots in andere landen, Marokko of Turkije of andere landen. En we zien hoe de Nederlandse overheid duidelijk kant heeft gekozen. Medeplichtig is. Politiek gezien, militair gezien.
Ja.
En al die normen en al die rechten, en dat bestaat allemaal niet meer.
So he's talking about the Dutch government choosing the side of Israel, right? When it comes to the conflict, Israel-Gaza, you know, they choose the side of Israel. They always choose the side of Israel. We even have the defense minister saying that Iran is the enemy within the whole conflict, right? But Iran, okay, they attacked Israel, yeah, but that was basically a retaliation because that Hamas leader had died in Tehran, the capital of Iran, right? That was retaliation, you know. So they're being attacked and they're not allowed to attack back because, oh, we're being attacked. Oh. No, you attacked them by assassinating a leader, of, a military arm of a political party, right? Because Hamas is also a political party. They actually have power in Gaza, municipality power. So, yeah, they're also a political group.
Dus je kan je ook vragen op een gegeven moment wat voor impact dat op den duur heeft op de moslims in Nederland.
Het is ook een wezenlijke vraag, denk ik, die we met elkaar ook moeten beantwoorden. Dus 2001 gebeurt, de wereld is in shock, er gebeurt ook.
So, this guy previously mentioned 9/11, and the Muslims feel unsafe, and this and that, and now this guy is saying, yeah, we have to remember that situation, 9/11, and let's take a listen to this guy.
Ook iets wat we volgens mij nog nooit eerder in de geschiedenis van ons leven hebben gezien. En dan begint volgens mij een kanteling, ook in media, maar ook in de hetsen tegen moslims in eigenlijk de hele wereld. Er is gewoon een duidelijke propagandaoorlog opgezet.
So he's saying that there's a witch hunt against Muslims after 9/11. The media is playing their role and this and that. No, we're not against Muslims. We want peace. That's what we're striving for, peace. And it's very sad to see that these people who feel Dutch, but aren't Dutch, that they don't feel safe in this country because of all the prosecution that the media gives, So it's very sad to see that our country is being split apart, and this is done by plan, right? When Ajax plays Feyenoord, which is in Rotterdam, Amsterdam and Rotterdam are like competing cities, and people in Rotterdam say, oh, those people in Amsterdam, we're going to beat them. And Amsterdam says, yeah, those people in Rotterdam, we're going to beat them. But when there's a football match, there aren't any fans allowed from Rotterdam when Ajax plays Feyenoord. At home in Amsterdam, there are no Feyenoord supporters allowed. It also goes the same way for Rotterdam. No Ajax supporters allowed in Rotterdam. But when it comes to Tel Aviv, come on over. Yeah? These are Israeli supporters. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, right.
Mensen werden tegen elkaar opgezet. Er werd ongelooflijk veel haat gespuwd op mensen. Maar niet alleen met de mond, maar ook fysiek. We kunnen de kranten erop nalezen in heel Europa en Amerika hoeveel van onze zusters, want vaak zie je dat hate crime plaatsvindt of bij ouderen of bij vrouwen. En de rest vinden ze toch wel moeilijk. Ja. Dus de vrouwen die de hoofddoek af werd getrokken terwijl de kinderen erbij lopen, et cetera.
Dat gebeurt nooit wanneer wij erbij zijn. Dat bedoel ik.
So he's talking about the Muslim women wearing headscarves and stuff, and people pulling them off, and and they feel offended. They feel offended by that. Now, this is the Netherlands, not some Muslim country, right, where you have to wear a headscarf and this and that. This is the Netherlands. And people don't really realize that. They think it's their country. We have more mosques than churches in the Netherlands. Yes, because we're importing all these people from Muslim countries. And the Dutch government bends down and says, yeah, take me. So Amsterdam is prominently Muslim, right? And you have Tel Aviv supporters going through Amsterdam. That's the same as having an elephant in the porcelain shop, right? You know, this is instigated by the Dutch government. They're using the Netherlands as a playing field for other conflicts outside of the Netherlands. This is how they destabilize and ask for more power. We know the game. We know the game. We're trying to explain it. So, ja, Tini, fijne dag. So, this is all happening, right? And very, very sad thing to see. But I am proud of the Muslims standing up for their city, the Moroccans that went into this group of hooligans and prevented them from doing more damage to the city of Amsterdam. So, yeah, that's happening in the Netherlands. It's a hot topic on table. And yeah, we're trying to expose what's happening here. We're trying to explain why this functions as it functions. Ja, ja mensen. Wat een nacht is het geweest. Een verhitte nacht in Amsterdam. En ja, triest dat dit gebeurt. Very sad that this is happening, you know. But we know the game. We know the game. We also have Frankie, the philosophical torch, who is live, you know, and we support Frankie. Yeah, we support Frankie. Because Frankie is trying to do the same thing. And this is also a channel of Moroccans talking about the chaos in Amsterdam, you know, and these are all Dutch Moroccans who we can be proud of, you know. These people come together around the table and talk about the situation in Amsterdam. So, yeah, that's that, right? Let's take a look at what's happening in the United States, because, you know, there's Donald Trump as incoming president, and of course it has consequences for the Netherlands, because over here we're still in the Green Deal, right? Which Donald Trump says, well, it's all fake, which it is. You know, it is fake. It's all for power, right? We know what's going on. So I found a clip of Donald Trump, which is very, very, very important, right? One of the most important things that Donald Trump has done. He's not even president yet, but he is, he's working on it. He's working on a better world. Let's take a look at this here.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, I guess Donald Trump wasn't so crazy after all, now was he? You know, that typical Trump campaigning style, elect me and I'm gonna make mountains move. It's just gonna happen, you gotta trust me.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It will be settled quickly.
Before I even step into office, I'm gonna make this thing happen. It's the type of rhetoric that makes the pseudo-intellectuals in the media lose their mind. They essentially call him a nutcase every time he says something like this. But then, of course, Donald Trump actually gets elected, and we're right back to the first thing that I said in the video. Now it's so crazy after all, huh? It hasn't even been a week since Donald Trump has gained the title President-elect, once again for the second time, and already many of the big ambitious promises that Donald Trump presented in his incredible 2024 campaign seem to be coming to fruition, or at least the puzzle pieces are starting to be put into place. The dominoes have started to fall, and it's now been dubbed the Trump effect. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so I didn't exactly go into detail in that intro, but I'm sure you'll understand it's pretty clear. I present to you the Trump effect.
Donald Trump's not even president yet. Have you seen what's happened in the last 48 hours? The misogynist appoints the first ever woman to be chief of staff. The Taliban announced they want peace with America and to be taken off the terrorist list. Putin came out and said that Western civilization is not an enemy. Mexico has started securing the border in, of course, response to tariff threats. Saudi Arabia is kicking out all of their Hamas leaders. New York is cleaning up their illegal migrant crisis. Xi Jinping came out and said he wants to peacefully coexist with China and said that they respect American people. The European Union chief finally came out and said, hey America, can we start buying LNG from you so they stop buying from Russian gas? Putin says he takes Donald Trump's plan to end the war with Ukraine very seriously and Russia supports it. The Houthis are stepping back. The Hamas called for an immediate end to war. He's calling for term limits in from Congress so that way people like Nancy Pelosi stop being forever members. Stock markets and crypto hit all-time highs.
What's it been, 4 or 5 days? Donald Trump isn't even president yet, he's president-elect. It's been 4 days as I'm recording this video and 5 days as you're seeing this video, and already it feels like the world is healing already. Frankly, it feels like America standing on the world stage is actually making a difference for the first time in 3 years and 10 months. You know, just like that, all of a sudden, America has an impact on the world. I wonder what that could be. Well, of course, you're probably already thinking it. It's called strong, competent leadership, and most importantly, presence. Donald J. Trump has just been elected as 47th president of the United States, and instantly it's as if the planet hit a reset button. The reports are streaming in from every corner of the globe, and conflicts that have dragged on now for years are suddenly cooling down. Adversaries are talking about peace, and nations are aligning in a way that we haven't seen in a long time. And why is that the case? Because people know that they finally have to get in line. No more blank check for your deepest and wild ambitions. No longer the Cheney warmongering approach of we'll fight this thing no matter how long it takes and no matter how many people die. No, now it's the Trump approach.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying.
I want them to stop dying. Well, that's what we want. We want peace. We want stability. We want prosperity for all. Right? There we go. Freedom, peace, end all the wars now. Now, what you need is also the freedom of speech, which is very important in a democratic society, right? So Donald Trump is not even president yet, and he said something about free speech on internet platforms such as YouTube and other places. We're also going to take a look at this here. Liberal hive mind, we love you, man. We love you.
And the way this clip was presented to me, I think, is the proper way that I should present it to you. It's a post from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that popped up on my timeline, where he presented the clip with the caption that writes, "This earns @real Donald Trump a space on Mount Rushmore," just so you understand the significance. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
If we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple. Just like dominoes, one by one, they'll go down. That's why today I'm announcing my plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people. They have collaborated to suppress vital information on everything from elections to public health. The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed, and it must happen immediately. And here's my plan. First, within hours of my inauguration, I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens.
Mr. Trump, I'm not an American citizen. I'm a Dutch citizen, and I'm using American platforms such as YouTube, such as Facebook, such as other platforms, you know. So this is not only for the freedom of speech of Americans. This is worldwide. Thank you, Mr. Trump, for putting this into plan. And it's very, very important that we have freedom of speech, not only in America, but everywhere.
I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis or disinformation. And I will begin the process of identifying and firing every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship, directly or indirectly, whether they are the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are. Second, I will order the Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified. These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws, the Hatch Act, and a host of other potential criminal, civil, regulatory, and constitutional offenses. To assist in these efforts, I am urging House Republicans to immediately send preservation letters, and we have to do this right now, to the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, and every Silicon Valley tech giant, ordering them not to destroy evidence of censorship. Third, upon my inauguration as president, I will ask Congress to send a bill to my desk revising Section 230 to get big online platforms out of censorship business. From now on, digital platforms should only qualify for immunity protection under Section 230 if they meet high standards of neutrality, transparency, fairness, and non-discrimination. We should require these platforms to increase their efforts to take down unlawful content such as child exploitation and promoting terrorism, while dramatically curtailing their power to arbitrarily restrict lawful speech. Fourth, we need to break up the entire toxic censorship industry that has arisen under the false guise of tackling so-called mis- and disinformation. The federal government should immediately stop funding all nonprofits and academic programs that support this authoritarian project. If any U.S. university is discovered to have engaged in censorship activities or election interferences in the past, such as flagging social media content for removal of blacklisting, those universities should lose federal research dollars and federal student loan support for a period of 5 years and maybe more. We should also enact new laws laying out clear criminal penalties for federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities to do an end run around the Constitution and deprive Americans of their First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment rights. In other words, deprive them of their vote. And once you lose those elections, and once you lose your borders like we have, you no longer have a country. Furthermore, to confront the problems of major platforms being infiltrated by legions of former deep staters and intelligence officials, there should be a 7-year cooling off period before any employee of the FBI, CIA, NSA, DNI, DHS, or DOD is allowed to take a job at a company possessing vast quantities of U.S. user data. Fifth, the time has finally come for Congress to pass a digital Bill of Rights. This should include a right to digital due process. In other words, government officials should need a court order to take down online content, not send information requests such as the FBI was sending to Twitter. Furthermore, when users of big online platforms have their content or accounts removed, throttled, shadow banned, or otherwise restricted, no matter what.
We are shadow banned. We are restricted, you know, but we're still here. We're still here.
What name they use, they should have the right to be informed that it's happening, the right to a specific explanation of the reason why, and the right to a timely appeal. In addition, all users over the age of 18 should have the right to opt out of content moderation and curation entirely and receive an unmanipulated stream of information if they so choose. The fight for free speech is a matter of victory or death for America and for the survival of Western civilization itself. When I am president, this whole rotten system of censorship and information control will be ripped out of the system at large. There won't be anything left. By restoring free speech, we'll begin to reclaim our democracy and save our nation. Thank you, and God bless America.
And now I'll tell you one thing. I have no doubt, 0% doubt in my body, in my soul, in my mind, that I've been fighting for the wrong side. This is the right side of history, folks. And of course, this is huge news. This matters more so than anything else the media is blah-blah-blahing about.
You are on the right side of history. That's why we stream you, liberal hive mind. You know, we're doing this to save our planet. Not only the Netherlands, my country, such as your country, you know, we're doing this to save the planet. Yeah, we want peace. We don't want any war. Now, let's go back at 4 years of Biden, right? What happened? Well, we're going to show it on the map and explain. So, we have the Netherlands, right? Now, let's take a look at other countries, such as Ukraine. What happened in Ukraine? In 2014, when Obama was still in power, right, you had Victoria Nuland talking to Jeffrey Pyatt about who's going to take power in Ukraine. They organized a coup in Ukraine and put in radicals that said no Russian is allowed in Ukraine, and you know they attacked Russian-speaking Ukrainians. So that's what happened, and the East said, nope, we're not participating in this. And Crimea had a referendum, and Kiev said, yeah, we're going to talk to the east of Ukraine. Well, it's not been like that, you know. They did not talk. They put in the army against the east of Ukraine, trying to take back the regions that said we are autonomous, right? We decide for our own region. So that's been happening since 2014, and these autonomous regions in the east of Ukraine say we need Russian support. So Russia supports the east of Ukraine. And they also had a referendum about joining Russia, and they said overwhelmingly, yes, we want to join Russia. So we have that going on, right? If we look at the Middle East, you have the situation Israel-Gaza, right? We know that Hamas was made by Israel. We know that they're being used in a sense, essentially, to attack regions, such as the Gaza Strip. As I've said before, they're also a political power in the Gaza Strip because they were elected, right? So we also know that there's gas off the coast of Gaza, and Israel has been attacking Gaza for that gas, right? And they're using Hamas as a pretext to attack Gaza. We also know in 2014 that there were Israeli students that were kidnapped and executed by Hamas terrorists. And we understand the game. They're using this as a pretext to wage war, right? We understand the game. Anyway, that's been going on in Israel. We have October the 7th, 2000, we're in 24, right? Time flies. Last year, 2023, Israel was attacked by Hamas. They took some Israelis as hostages, and Hamas actually says, well, Israel, you have so many Palestinians in your prison. We're going to take some Israelis and use that as an exchange. But that did not happen because Israel was on a warpath again, right? Now we know what happened. We know about Sykes-Picot. We know about the English Mandate, Balfour Declaration and stuff like that. We know. We already explained the whole situation in another broadcast, right? So we have that going on. What happened in Yemen during the Obama period? Well, there were droning people in Yemen. The drone comes flying high and sees certain people. Oh, they're terrorists. Let's bomb them. And they bombed a spiritual leader of Yemen, and that fractured the whole country, which you have opposing parties fighting each other and such. And the Houthis took power in Sana'a, which is the capital of Yemen. Right? There we have Sana'a. So that happened during the Obama period. And during the Trump period, Trump supported Saudi Arabia trying to reinstall the government that had fled Yemen, right? But that did not really go well. And still, the Houthis are in power in Yemen, controlling the Red Sea, right? And this also has access to the Mediterranean Sea, which has access to Europe. So all the tankers with, fossil fuels and stuff like that, they need to circumvent the Red Sea because the Houthis are in power and have control over the Red Sea, right? So we also have Ethiopia. They want a port. They don't have access to the sea. They did an under-the-table deal with Somaliland, and for access to the sea. But Somalia said, nope, we're not going to do that. Nope. And they went to Egypt for support And, it's not really a matter of, when there's war in the Horn of Africa, but yeah, who knows? The clock is ticking. We also have Sudan, which is in a war. The SAF, Sudanese Armed Forces, against the RSF, Rapid Special Forces, paramilitary branch of the military, fighting the military. And very sad to see what's happening over there in Darfur and other places. But that also happened under the watch of Biden, right? So we also have Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, which also had their coups. The army took over in those countries, and they said, "Buy America, buy France." Yeah. So that also happened under Biden's watch. So lots of parts of the world are destabilized under the watch of Biden, right? We also have the North Korea, South Korea tension. We showed the road from the north to the south that was bombed by North Korea. And it's very sad to see. We also see North Korea participate in the war of Russia-Ukraine. They're in the Kursk area and also in the Donbass fighting. So, that also puts a strain on the China-Russian relation, right? And very interesting to see when Donald Trump will take power, what's going to happen in the Asian part of the world. We also have China in Bhutan, the north of Bhutan. They have military bases. And China says, no, we're not expanding. No, we're not expanding. Nothing's happening here. But Bhutan has no army. Thus, China has, lots of power to take over parts of Bhutan. And also Nepal, they're also expanding there. And they're also waging a border war with India. So lots and lots of stuff is happening. And we're looking at what's happening in the world. And we also notice what's happening in Myanmar, right? Very, very interesting to see what's happening in Myanmar. And we have a video of that. We're going to look it up because it's very, very important to know what's happening over there. And we're going to show it in a few. So let's take a look at what's happening in Myanmar, former Burma. Right, here we have Myanmar. There we go. And we're going to take a look at a clip of Myanmar. Here we go. Honest government ad. Visit Myanmar. Well, let's take a look at this.
Visit Myanmar, home to natural natural wonders, ancient culture, friendly people, and of course, fascist fuckpigs and war criminals. Myanmar. Hello, I am from the military. I mean, government of Myanmar, where we didn't like how people voted in our last election. So on the morning our elected MPs were to be sworn in, just as this fitness instructor was live streaming a kick-ass cardio routine, we launched a coup and arrested them. The people protested peacefully with slogans and sarongs. So of course, we responded with bullets, shooting teenagers in the head, mass arrests, rape, torture, and airstrike, killing thousands and displacing millions. Visit Myanmar. Our short man with mommy issues then appointed himself Prime Minister, President, Chairman, and awarded himself the most glorious Order of Truth. And if that sounds like he's in desperate need of validation, that's cause he is. And everyone in Myanmar thinks he's a motherfucker. That's why the people have taken up arms to defend themselves, forming a resistance movement which now controls most of the country, while elected MPs have formed the National Unity Government, the actual government of Myanmar. But don't worry, because not only do we have decades of experience in killing our people, including a genocide against the Rohingya, we also have a shit ton of weapons and cash. Thanks to our friends.
Hello, I'm from the Russian government, where we give zero fucks about sanctions on the junta. So we sell them fighter jets to launch indiscriminate airstrikes on villages, like this one which killed hundreds, including 40 children. Here at the Chinese government, we have a shit ton of major investments in Myanmar. And to protect them, we're helping the junta hold sham elections and arming their air force via our state-owned company, AVIC, proud partner of Airbus. Welcome to Airbus, where nothing says pioneering a safe and united world like doing business with folks who help war criminals bomb schools, health clinics and concerts. Here at the Indian government, the chosen one also sells the junta military equipment, while his best friend built this Madarchad a new port. Here at the government of Japan, we help the junta build railways used to transport weapons. And here at the government of Singapore, we still let sanctioned tycoons like this Bangsat kick it up in multi-million-dollar villas.
We're grateful to all the governments propping up our brutal junta, but above all, we're grateful to ASEAN for giving us legitimacy.
Hello, I'm from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, where we legitimize the junta by inviting them to represent Myanmar at hundreds of ASEAN meetings on trade, energy, tourism, security. We even let the guy who led airstrikes on schools and hospitals host our Air Force conference. And we do enjoy the irony of letting a junta that's raped and murdered hundreds of women and children host our Women and Children's Protection Committee, ASEAN. Meanwhile, Myanmar's actual government says we should be pushing our members to impose sanctions and cut off the junta's supply of jet fuel. You know, the thing sustaining their aerial terror campaign. Are we doing that? Of course not, silly. That wouldn't be good for business for ASEAN members, like us here at the Thai government, where we earn billions from mining Myanmar's gas. Even these bungstains cut their ties with Myanmar after the coup. But not us. We expanded our investments there, like us here at the Indonesian government, where we know what it's like to have a war criminal as president. So in solidarity, we let our mates sign some sweet business deals with this one. And here at the government of Vietnam, our telco provides the junta with data and tech, as well as millions in revenue from MyTel subscribers, since the military is also a shareholder. Armitel. It's all part of our 5-point consensus for dealing with the crisis in Myanmar.
Is it working?
Absolutely. That's why the UN, US, EU and all these guys say ASEAN should keep leading the way.
Which works for everyone.
They get to avoid taking meaningful action. We get to keep pretending to solve the crisis whilst profiting from it.
We get to keep plundering and terrorizing Myanmar,
while the people of Myanmar are left to fight a ruthless army with homemade weapons and civil disobedience.
The government of Myanmar thanks ASEAN and all our friends for helping us to fuck our people and democracy. Now hurry up and send us more jet fuel, you pieces of shit. Visit Myanmar. Authorized by the Department for Democratic Resistance Against Fascists and Short Men with Mommy Issues. အရေးတော်ပုံအောင်ရမည်
We support you. We support you. You're supposed to be free, right? You're not supposed to have a government that bombs people and stuff like that. Very, very sad thing to see what's happening in Myanmar. But we're watching. We're watching. We want peace. Right? That is what we want. We want peace. We want prosperity. We want a future for these kids. You know, these kids are growing up with a weapon in their hand. That's not how kids are supposed to grow up. Right? They're supposed to play and, you know, do games and such. But no. They're seeking shelter from bombs. And all these governments support that. Very, very sickening to see what's happening over there in Myanmar, right? We want peace. That is what we want. We don't want any more wars. So, we're going to close off with Samson. We haven't heard him in quite a while. Sincerely, a taxpayer. Now, I don't care if I'm going to get a warning from YouTube or Facebook. We just heard President-elect Donald Trump saying we need freedom of speech. Now, this is freedom of speech, right? We're looking at tense situations in the world. We also need to relax and come together with a song.
I'm hurting. I can feel my money draining. They take everything I make and you wonder why I'm complaining. I break my neck to make this money, then they just come and take it from me. My wages ain't that great in the first place. I should be paying you nothing, but they keep on coming and they keep on taking. These motherfuckers go ham on me every time I bring them the bacon. And I wonder what it's for. Ukraine, great funding a war. Have we spent enough yet? Should I guess not? Look, here they come for some more. Fuck me, I'm sore. Sucks being poor. You had the same job for the last 6 years, wasn't struggling before. Back when Trump was in office, fuck all the junk that they called him. I never saw any of the shit that people always said he was in the comments. All of it was nonsense, I ain't even trying to ride him either. I'm just saying you gotta admit that shit was fine when he was the leader. It was fine when he was in charge. I never saw bills as high as they are. I never got chills just literally thinking about filling up my car. It shouldn't be that way. I don't care about Russia or Ukraine, but I do care about my own country. Is that insane? I care a lot about all the tons of money that we're paying, because it's mine, not yours, and I'm the one that feels the pain. I get taxed on my fucking ass for every dime I make. It'd be fine if they would spend my money wisely, but no way. It'd be great if they would take it and pay for important shit that benefited you and me, and not just wage your wars with it. And where the fuck are all the liberals? I thought you stood against this shit. I thought the war machine was your enemy. Now you're friends with it? Now you wanna go to war? Now you wanna fight? Now you wanna pick sides in a feud where everyone is white? Now you wanna get involved and go and blow a person up? I'm just saying, I'm surprised this altercation ain't diverse enough. No one deserves this stuff. I just don't believe the tears you weep. Countries where brown people get bombed every day. I don't hear a peep, you fucking hypocrites. Thought the race thing was your shtick. I thought as long as white people were involved, you don't give a shit. Those are your words, not mine. I'm just wondering why. Why do we have endless money for them and none for Hawaii? Why is it every time Zelensky needs a loan from someone, we're the only ones that give it to him like we owe him something? We got issues of our own here at home that no one's discussing, and they keep growing cause no one in power is gonna do nothing. We're stuck. How the fuck we gonna help somebody else when we can't even reach inside our own pockets to help ourselves? We could allocate that money to our own people in different ways, to clothe and feed and bathe and let them know it'll be okay. We could definitely do that. Don't tell me it's not that simple. People overcomplicate this and make it some fucking riddle like can't just feed everyone. Are you insane? You know how much that costs? Way less than we've sent to Ukraine. I know that for sure. You don't have to be a mathematician or a foreign relations expert to figure out that division. You don't have to draw a graph to see it would cost a fraction to solve half of the problems we have and stop them from happening. I'm just saying, what kind of fucking world we living in? So many billions we've given them. When's Europe chipping in? When we gonna start splitting and stirring up the dividends and begin telling other nations it's your turn to lend a hand? Listen, And I don't think Ukraine deserves any of this, but I also don't think Zelensky is as great as they said he is. I don't believe the media when they blurt shit on their shows. You'd have to be naive to think this dude's as pure as driven snow. No one is, especially when you run a nation, dog. Your morals are compromised the minute that you take the job. So I don't trust Zelensky, Putin, Biden, or anyone. I don't think any of them give a fuck about all us little ones. All the people of Russia, all the people of Ukraine, most of the people of the USA probably feel the same. We don't want this shit, it's only the elites that do. They line their pockets, they profit from this, but not from me and you. Quite the contrary, in fact, we pay for it with our lives and money. They take chunks of everything we make. You soldiers die for nothing, so they can gain some more power and keep their base fat. And all we get is table scraps. Fuck yeah, makes me mad. Fuck yeah, I get upset. We're constantly ignored. Why the fuck I pay for this? I don't want this. Help the Pentagon of $6 billion unaccounted for, but when I do my taxes, I'm afraid to be a dollar short. I'm afraid I'll go to jail, do some time if I don't pay you back the money that you wasted. That was mine. I can't keep quiet anymore. It's impossible to shut up. I'm sick and tired of being responsible for all your fuck-ups. But the question is, what we gonna do about it? There's never a plan of action. All we seem to do is shout it, and I'm guilty of it too. Always bitching and complaining, ever walking, always talking, always lipping off and saying I'ma do shit, but I don't. And to be honest with you, that's the reason I don't make a lot of songs, and that's the truth. I'm sick of bumping my gums. I'm tired of flapping my jibs. Something needs to be done, and I don't know if rapping is it. We need a real solution, but we need to get together first, because unless we're all in this as a whole, it'll never work. However, what do I know? I'm just a moron with a pen, but there's power in numbers, and there's more of us than them.
The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on, continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all, at all, at all.
Now, Donald Trump may be a rich guy.
I've been hearing that.
Oh, I don't know if we're allowed to play that. God Mode. Good song. But, yeah. Donald Trump may be a rich guy, but still, you know, he has his heart in the right place. America needs to be helped. It needs the pill, right? And let's hope that there will be a new horizon coming when Trump is in power. We already see that change is happening. The German cabinet fell. We haven't talked about that yet. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a later broadcast. So, we're going to leave. I thank you all for watching, sharing, liking, and subscribing, of course. We're doing this for the Netherlands, but also in bigger context for better